The power to control your emotions instantly. How often do you let your emotions control you? How many times have you reacted in anger, frustration, or fear, only to regret it later? Most people live at the mercy of their emotions. A stressful situation arises, and they panic. Someone insults them, and they lash out. Plans don't go their way, and they break down. Sound familiar? But what if you didn't have to react that way? What if, no matter what happens, you could remain calm, unshaken, and fully in control? The ancient Stoics were surrounded by chaos, yet they remained composed. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire facing war, betrayal, and plagues, but he never lost his temper. Seneca faced exile and death, yet he remained calm. Epictetus was born a slave, but he refused to be a prisoner of his emotions. They weren't superhuman. They simply mastered techniques that allowed them to control their emotions instantly. What if you could do the same? What if no situation, no person, no external event could ever shake your inner peace? If you learn these 5 Stoic techniques, you will never lose control again. But first, let's understand why emotional control is the ultimate power. Why this matters. Imagine this. You're in an argument, someone insults you, your blood boils, your heart races, you feel the urge to respond immediately, to defend yourself, to prove them wrong. But what if you didn't? What if you stayed completely calm, unshaken, while they lost control? Think about it. How much power would you have if no one could provoke you? If no words, no circumstances, no external events could shake your inner state? This isn't just a fantasy. It's a skill, a discipline. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man in the world, yet he faced betrayals, wars, and constant criticism. Did he lose his temper? Did he let his emotions dictate his actions? Number. He remained unshaken because he followed a set of Stoic techniques designed to master emotions instantly. And today, you're going to learn them. 5 simple yet powerful Stoic techniques that will allow you to control your emotions instantly, no matter what happens. And it all starts with the most fundamental Stoic principle. Control what you can, ignore what you can't. But what if you had a way to stay calm, no matter what? A way to remain unshaken, regardless of what happens. Think of the last time you lost control of your emotions. Maybe it was an argument. Maybe it was a moment of stress. What if you could have handled it differently, without reacting emotionally? That's exactly what the Stoics mastered. They weren't superhuman. They simply mastered techniques that allowed them to control their emotions instantly. What if you could do the same? What if no situation, no person, no external event could ever shake your inner peace? If you learn these 5 Stoic techniques, you will never lose control again. Most people fail at emotional control because they focus on the wrong things. They stress over what they can't change, instead of mastering what they can. This brings us to the first Stoic principle. 1. The Stoic mindset. Control what you can, ignore what you can't. It's not what happens to you that upsets you. It's how you react to it. Epictetus said this over 2,000 years ago, and yet most people today still let their emotions be controlled by things outside of their power. Think about it. How much time and energy do you waste on things you can't control? Other people's opinions, unexpected problems, the past. No matter how much you stress over these things, you can't change them. That's why the Stoics trained themselves to only focus on what they can control. Even in modern times, the world's top performers understand this principle. Michael Jordan didn't waste energy worrying about referee calls. He focused on his game. Steve Jobs ignored critics and stayed obsessed with innovation. The key to emotional control is shifting all your focus onto what you can influence. Their thoughts, their actions, their mindset. This is where true emotional control begins. Try this. Take a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On the left side, write, "What I can control." On the right side, write, "What I can't control." Next time you feel frustrated, check your list. If what's bothering you is on the right side, let it go, because the moment you stop giving power to what you can't control, you take your power back. Now that you know where to focus your mind, let's talk about how to prepare for emotional challenges before they even happen. But even if you focus only on what you can control, unexpected problems can still shake you. That's why the Stoics had a technique to prepare for the worst, so they never panicked when it happened. Second, Premeditatio, Malorum, expect the worst, stay calm. The Stoics had a simple but powerful belief. If you prepare for the worst, nothing can surprise you. Most people live in fear of bad things happening. They hope for the best, but when something goes wrong, they panic. The Stoics did the opposite. Seneca would mentally rehearse losing everything, his wealth, his status, even his life, so that if it ever happened, he wouldn't be afraid. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning, "Today I will meet people who are rude, selfish, and dishonest, but I will not let them disturb my peace." This technique is called Premeditatio Malorum, the practice of imagining the worst so you're never caught off guard. Try this every morning. Take 2 minutes and ask yourself, what could go wrong today? How will I respond calmly? When the situation actually happens, you'll be mentally prepared. No shock, no panic, just control. But even with preparation, emotions can still rise. And when they do, you need a technique to neutralize them instantly. That's where the next method comes in. 3. The pause technique. Gain control before you react. Most people react instantly to emotions. They yell when they're angry. They panic when they're stressed. They regret their words moments later. The Stoics knew better. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and philosopher, said, "Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose." Marcus Aurelius practiced this constantly. When confronted with anger, betrayal, or chaos, he would pause before responding, allowing logic to take control instead of emotion. Even in modern times, Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors, said, "The most important quality for an investor is temperament, not intellect." He doesn't let emotions dictate his decisions. He pauses, thinks, and then acts. So how can you do this? The 3-second rule. The moment you feel anger, stress, or frustration, pause for 3 seconds. Breathe in, count 1, 2, 3, then decide your response. This simple pause breaks the automatic emotional reaction and gives your rational mind time to take control. Use this in arguments. Instead of shouting back, pause and respond with intention. Stressful situations. Before reacting to bad news, take a deep breath. Decision-making. Don't let emotions rush you into making a choice you'll regret. But once you pause, you still have energy building up inside you. And if you don't release it, emotions will take over again. But controlling emotions isn't just about the mind. It's about training the body too. If you can train yourself to endure discomfort, you'll build resilience to handle any stress life throws at you. Pausing before reacting gives you control. But what if you could train yourself to handle stress so well that you barely feel the need to react at all? That's where voluntary discomfort comes in. 4. Voluntary discomfort. Train your mind to handle stress. Most people avoid discomfort at all costs. They seek comfort, convenience, and instant gratification. But the Stoics, they embraced discomfort because they knew that hardship builds strength. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." How did he practice this? He slept on the floor, ate simple food, and wore rough clothing, so that if life ever forced him into hardship, he would be mentally prepared. He reminded himself, "Is this what I was so afraid of?" Even today, the same principle applies. Navy SEALs train in extreme conditions, not just to build physical toughness, but to develop unshakable mental resilience. So how can you apply this? Practical Stoic challenges. Take cold showers. Train your mind to endure discomfort. Skip a meal intentionally. Realize you can function without immediate gratification. Stay off social media for a day. Regain control over impulses and distractions. The point? When you train your mind to handle discomfort voluntarily, you won't panic when life throws real challenges at you. Now that you've trained your body, let's train your mind for daily challenges. The view from above. Shift your perspective. What if I told you that most of your problems only feel big because you're standing too close to them? The Stoics had a powerful mental technique, zooming out. Instead of getting trapped in their emotions, they would take a step back, seeing themselves and their problems from a higher perspective. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic emperors, used this technique daily. He imagined himself floating above Rome, above the earth, above the universe. From that height, his struggles, his stress, his fears felt small, almost meaningless. Astronauts experience this in real life. Many astronauts return from space with a deep sense of calm. Why? Because once you've seen Earth as a tiny blue dot, you realize how small most problems really are. How to apply this today? Next time you feel overwhelmed, step back and shift your perspective. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself from above. Zoom out to see your city, then the whole country, then the planet. Ask yourself, will this problem still matter in a week, in a year? Most of the time you'll realize it's not as big as it seems. Now, let's tie everything together and turn these techniques into daily habits. Let's recap the 5 Stoic techniques that will help you control your emotions instantly. 1. Control what you can, ignore what you can't. Stop wasting energy on things outside your control. Expect the worst, so you never panic. When you're prepared, nothing can truly shake you. Pause before reacting, always. Create space between the situation and your response. 4. Train discomfort, so stress doesn't control you. Voluntary hardship makes you mentally unbreakable. Shift your perspective. Problems are smaller than they seem. Zoom out, and you'll see how little most things actually matter. Most people will watch this video and do nothing, but not you. You have a choice. Will you take control of your emotions starting today? Here's my challenge for you. In the next 24 hours, apply just one of these techniques. Then, come back and tell me, did it change how you felt? If you're serious about emotional mastery, watch my next video, How to Stay Unshakable in Any Situation. Because the stronger you become inside, the less the world can shake you.